What's going on, Moon Gang? We're back at it again with another Ape Nation update. On today's episode, we'll be talking about Robinhood. They seem to be even in hotter water. We'll be going over convertible bonds. And of course, we'll be doing a quick breakdown of both AMC and GME. So let's hop right into it. AMC closed out the day at 54.22 and GME closed out the day at 204.36. Just so you know, as a quick public service announcement, tomorrow on Friday, it's a normal trading day. But then on Monday, July 5th, the market will be closed for an observation of the July 4th holiday. Right here, Robinhood's IPO filing reveals the U.S. Attorney's Office executed a search warrant for CEO Vlad Tenev's cell phone. Man, they're in the headlines again, and not in a good way. The warrant was executed after the company's temporarily restricted trading during the GameStop frenzy. Robinhood said that the incident harmed its brand and listed it as a risk factor for the company. Well, maybe you shouldn't do these type of sketchy things if you think it's going to hurt your brand. That kind of makes sense. Robinhood revealed in its S-1 filing that the U.S. Attorney's Office launched a search warrant for CEO Vlad Tenev's cell phone. The company, which publicly filed for an IPO on Thursday, honestly, as a quick side note, for me, I don't really like messing around with IPOs. I'm more of a chart technical trader, and this is an IPO I am definitely 100% avoiding at all costs. So anyway, Robinhood listed the search warrant for Tenev's personal cell phone as a potential risk factor for investors looking to buy share in the company. Yeah, it's a risk factor because who knows what they're going to find. They might uncover something that we're all suspecting that Robinhood might be doing, illicit, immoral, potentially illegal things. So I would list that as a risk factor as well. On Wednesday, Robinhood was slapped with a $70 million fine by FINRA. I covered that in yesterday's update video for misleading customers and system outages that the agency said hurt Robinhood's customers. In its public filing, the startup said it will likely incur similar fines in the future. One more time, the startup said it will likely incur similar fines in the future. For me, that's not necessarily something I want to invest in. The S-1 filing is one of the first comprehensive looks at Robinhood's financials. In 2020, its revenues grew 245% to hit $959 million, while its reversed losses to post to a $6.3 million profit. Though the first quarter of 2021 saw a $1.4 billion loss ahead of the retail trading saga. Well, it's one of those things. It seems like karma is catching back up to them. So that's a quick update of what's going on with Robinhood, their CEO, and also the IPO that they just filed for. Now let's switch this over to convertible bonds. So once in a while, every so often, we see a certain storyline really grip the entire community, and it catches on. And right now, that's one that's going on with bonds. And we finally got some answers about these convertible bonds. And this is right from John Merriweather, the Vice President of Investor Relations at AMC. So I would classify this as a verified source. And just so you know, this is an email response to someone on Twitter. Shout out to Jesse A. Thanks for the email. AMC currently does not have any convertible notes and hasn't had any convertible notes since early 2021. Just so you know, a convertible note, aka convertible bond. The filing earlier in the week was an administrative filing that cleaned up the S3 related to the underlying shares associated with the $600 million convertible loan from Silver Lake in 2018. Silver Lake converted their debt into equity and sold the equity in 2021, so withdrawing an obsolete registration statement is simply a housekeeping matter. There is no impact on the company. Be safe and well, John. So right there, this convertible bond thing, it's just right here, it's a housekeeping matter. And I just want to bring this up because I think this community, sometimes we see these things, it takes everyone's attention and it really builds up expectations. And then we're let down because what we've seen from January until now, whenever someone has called out a specific date, a specific price, and especially the combination of those two, it's never been met. And we see this series over and over again, where expectations go high, it doesn't come to fruition, and then people feel a sense of defeated. So right there, I don't want this to be another thing with the convertible note, convertible bond thing, because right here, it's just a housekeeping matter. It's not anything going on in the background. It's just not a thing, and that's okay, because there's a lot of positive things we still have going. I just don't want this to be an expectation that's built out, and then we all feel let down when it doesn't become a reality. Speaking of which, here is what's going on with AMC and why I'm still a fan of what's going on. For me, we don't have to get into the weeds of things like convertible bonds when it could be as basic as, is the chart trending in your favor and is there still a considerable short interest? Well, for number one, right here, AMC trading at $54. We bounced off the bottom of this wedge, so we're still consolidating. But ever since the run up, as of now, we are up 350%. That is beyond very, very good. So we're consolidating at a beautiful price. I like the bounce off of the bottom of the wedge. Who knows? Looking in the future, we might be looking back at this video and be like, man, that was the buying opportunity at 52.50. Bounce, 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 bounce. Like the stock has really reacted to this region before. Once again, today it reacted to it, and it was also the bottom of the wedge. So we're looking for that to follow through, test this top, break out. We have 60 to 62, then 65, and then 72. Past that, we'll just be looking for price discovery to play itself out, and there's really no saying how high it could possibly go. In the event that there is a breakdown below this wedge, I would be looking first for support around 48. We have this low, then we have a little bit of support at 45, but we have this major support around 40. I'm just trying to give you the technical levels in all possible outcomes for what's going on with the current wedge, but overall, I want to reiterate, I really, really like this bounce off of 52, and I'm looking for the follow through upward and the break for an official breakout of this bullish pennant. In terms of its Ortex numbers, today it was pretty much net neutral. The short interest is sitting around 18.2%. The utilization is 87%. I want to talk about utilization because I think there's some confusion around it. Remember, utilization is the amount of shares on loan divided by the total loanable shares, X divided by Y, and both of these numbers are dynamic. So obviously the shares on loan can go up and down in a day, and the total loanable amount of shares can also go up and down a day. And that's why you hear a lot of people saying that they want to turn off their share loaning program on whatever their brokerage happens to be. So right here, just a rough estimate of numbers. Since we're at 86%, that means about right now, there's roughly 15 million shares that could still go out on loan that are willing to be lent out at this moment, but they're not officially on loan. So that's how you would interpret that number. Shares on loan around 95 million. And I just want to point out this. Another thing I was seeing was I think some people were trying to spread FUD and scare people about how the short interest is dropping. Yeah, from June 29th to June 30th, it did drop. It went from 19.2% to 18.2%. But look at the overall trend. Ever since June 8th, we've been going up. The fact that we went from 11% all the way up to 19%, considerable gain. In fact, it's almost 50%. I think it's okay that it came down 1%. It doesn't really bother me whatsoever. In terms of GameStop, we're still watching this region. Not much has changed with the technical breakdown of GME. We still have the support between 200 and 210. We want it to recapture 225 and then test 240. If it breaks below 200, the next major support is going to be around 180, 185-ish. In terms of its Ortex numbers, same thing. The borrow change was pretty much net neutral. Short interest, 19.54%. Utilization, 20.82%. And really, its shares on loan and its estimated short interest has mainly been going sideways, so not too much of a trend there. Pretty much flat across the board. One quick thing I wanted to add about AMC, just a little interesting thing here for the end. We're seeing more and more action for the December 2021 and January 2022 options. Once again today, a considerable amount of money going back and forth, and I don't really know what they're doing for the position. It seems like they're creating it and then unwinding it very quickly, but whatever's going on, there's big money moving for December of 2021 and January of 2022 as it relates to AMC in the options market. So definitely something worthwhile for us to keep our eyes on at a minimum. So overall, that's your wrap up for you. Robinhood still in hot water. This convertible bond thing, I think it's just another scenario in where people are building up expectations that it's a little bit misinformed. So for me, I'm not really following the storyline that much because there's other things such as AMC's chart and the short interest that still make me really, really happy with my position. And in terms of GameStop, we're looking for it to hold at $200. With all that being said, I'd love to get your thoughts on AMC and GME in a comment below, and you know about all that good YouTube algorithm stuff if you want to help me out. And until I catch you next time, for me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.